Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I hope from Allah Almighty that you must be hanging in the air, inshallah. No buts about it. Use your wits. That's my today's topic. No buts about it. Use your wits. If you're talking about a human life, if you're talking about a human being, then a question is coming automatically in our mind that if there is a human, then definitely there must be a religion. There must be a pattern. A human has come in this world, in this visible universe, to act a particular pattern, because every object in this universe has its own pattern of life. Mountains, flowers, trees, animals, microbes, even everything, anything which you can, take an example from this visible universe has its own pattern of life. So how can we even imagine that a human is created without having or without being blessed a particular kind of religion? Yes. So first of all, I want to make a crystal clear concept, a very transparent concept as far as God is concerned, as far as our Creator is concerned. Whenever we will find the way to identify our real Creator, then we can definitely accept or understand a particular kind of religion. First of all, I'm taking an example of Hinduism. As far as Hinduism concerned, if you will go to a common Hindu and you ask that what is the concept of God in your subscriptures or in your literature or in your holy books, then he will start from counting the God, and he would say, like, we are having 3 gods, and he can also say we are having gods in 100, and he can even also say we can have gods in millions, in trillions. Yes, that's true. And if you are talking about a person who is well versed or who has studied his holy books, he would say that God is one. And as far as my knowledge is concerned, as far as my learning, my research is concerned, I went to the holy scripture of Hinduism. And first of all, I want to put an example from a famous book is called as Upanishad. In Upanishad, there is a chapter number 6 and verse number 1. And what it is saying God is only one without second. God is only one without second. That is a verse. If we are going to define or explain that verse, it means that there is only one God without second. That is a crystal clear verse in the Upanishad. Upanishad, chapter number 6, verse number 1. What is saying? God is only one without second. And if you're talking about, if you will go to a common Hindu, and if you will give that reference from Upanishad, then you can find out the deviation, the differences. You can distinguish between the common Hindu and their particular holy scripture. As I mentioned earlier, that Upanishad is the best holy book in Hinduism. And in Upanishad, there is another saying in chapter number 6, verse number 9. There is no father and no mother. God has no father, no mother. That's very, amazing thing for me. And I'm being amazed, because as far as Hindus are concerned, there is a concept of parents of God. There is a concept of offsprings of God, right? So in Upanishad, chapter number 6, verse number 9, it is saying that God has no father, no mother. And in chapter number 6, verse number 1, what is saying? God is only one without second. How can we say, what can we say right now? What should we say right now? A common Hindu is practicing a particular kind of religion in which the concept of God is, multiplying. We cannot even imagine about the oneness of a God according to or by saying a practicing Hindu. But whenever you're talking about the holy scripture of Hinduism, then I have given two references. Chapter number 6, verse number 1. Chapter number 6, verse number 9. Chapter number 6, verse number 9. And in these two verses, there is crystal clear. There is transparent concept of Almighty. There is a transparent concept of God. What they are saying, what these two verses are saying, there is no God. There is only one God. There is no God but one. There is no God but one. And what it is saying, what it is also saying, that there is no father and there is no mother of God. But in spite of these sayings, Hindu is not in that belief. Similarly, chapter number 4, verse number 19, in Upanishad, of him there is no likeness. Whenever I was, reading that verse in the Holy Scripture, then I was very upset. I was very upset, trust me. I was keep on questioning by myself that why the people who are following Hinduism are not supposed to read these verses from their own holy scriptures. I have given three references. God is only one, without second. No father and no mother God is having. And of him there is no likeness. Of him there is no likeness. And what is the pattern of worshipping in Hinduism? They are used to make images. They are used to make images of God. And that is not written, or that is not, clarified, or that is not proved from their holy scripture. In their holy scripture, chapter number 4, verse number 19 in Upanishad, of him there is no likeness. There is no photocopy. There is no statue formation. And you can observe those people who are following Hinduism. They are used to do these all things. They are making statues. They are making whatever the case would be. So in Upanishad, there are three references. No God but one. No father and no mother God is having. Of him there is no likeness. And after that, I am taking an example of a very famous book which is called as Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 7, verse number 20. If a wisdom follows money, wealth, or anything which is related to matter, then he worship not one God. Oh my God. If I would, try to explain that verse in detail, that I need many days and many nights. Look, I want to put a very interesting example over here. Couple of days back, I heard a news of the suicide of Sushant Singh Rajput. And you know what? I was a little fan of him. And I saw his different movies, 2 movies in fact. And I was, a big fan how he was acting in those particular movies. And whenever he committed a suicide, I was, thinking by myself that why he committed a suicide. I mean, he was having wealth, okay? He was having a bright future, and he was having fame. He, have done like 13 or 14 movies, and he was having a big career, big professional career. Why he has committed a suicide? Because he was not having a peace of mind. In spite of having wealth, in spite of having fame, in spite of having every luxurious aspect of the life, he just committed a suicide. Why? Because he was not having the peace of mind, which is directly proportional to the peace of soul. On moving on the path, on moving or on following Hinduism, you cannot get the peace of mind. You cannot get the peace of soul. That's the harsh reality. No buts on it. Use your wits. That's my topic. You can take a very brightening example of Sushant Singh Rajput's suicide. He was having fame. He was having wealth. He was having money. He was having a luxurious lifestyle, cars, girlfriends, everything. But he was not on a right path, because if you are comparing the holy scripture of Hinduism and a Hindu, they are not, combining, or they are not on a one platform. Listen, conflicts can be in Islam as well. Yes, I didn't tell it, or I will never tell it that every Muslim is following its holy scripture exactly. But I can make you sure that every Muslim has a transparent concept of God. But according to the scripture, I have given 3 examples, 3 verses from Upanishad and 1 example from Bhagavad Gita. The wisdom which follows wealth, fame, respect, and all the materialistic kind of thing of the world, he would not worship one God. That is a key factor to open the lock of the room where where the solutions of all problems are kept. Yes, that's true. And you can, study these verses. And similarly, I can give one more example, which is the well famous and well read book, which is called as Ved, chapter number 32, verse number 3. For him there is no reflection. There is no reflection. Look, I have given 5 or 6 verses. God is only one without second. No father, no mother, God is having. For him there is no likeness. Okay? If wisdom follows money, wealth, fame, or anything else which is related to matter, he worship not one God. He worship not one God. No one God, sorry. Similarly, in Ved, chapter number 32, verse number 3, for him there is no reflection. These are all verses by which we can, make a crystal clear concept that Hindus are not following their scriptures. Hindus are not following their scriptures. And that is a big question. So why should a person follow Hinduism? In spite of the fact that they are not following the exact holy scripture of Hinduism, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, and Ved. So what I want to tell you, now I have just compared, or I just want you people to understand the concept of God in Hinduism. And I have also given an example of Sushant Singh Rajput's suicide. And many examples can be given, but he was, a public figure. That's why I'm putting an example over here, that in spite of having all those things which are apparently supposed to be the main factor of a good life, but in spite of these things, he couldn't be able to live a good life. And eventually, he finished his life by his own self. That is a big question. That is a big question for all of us, and that is a critical point to think on. So what I want to tell you, that from Hinduism, we cannot, we cannot get a clear concept of creator, because a creator cannot be, misinterpreted. A creator cannot be misinterpreted according to the holy scriptures of Hinduism. And if you are talking about a practicing Hindu, there is a difference, a gigantic difference between both of these two things. So what I want to say, we would have to search a little more. And inshallah, in the next lecture, I would talk about Christianity. I would talk about Christianity, and I would try to find out the concept, the basic and transparent concept of creator by giving you the references of holy scripture of Christianity, like I just given the example of Hinduism. So I want to tell you again, chapter number 6, verse number 1 from Upanishad says, God is only one without second. From Upanishad, chapter number 6, verse number 9, no father and no mother God can have. Upanishad, chapter number 4, verse number 19, of him there is no likeness. In Bhagavad Gita, now the turn is of Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 7, verse number 20, if wisdom follows money, wealth, respect, or anything which is related to matter, he worship not, but not one God. Means to say, he will never be able to worship single God if he is behind those things which I have mentioned earlier. Similarly, in the Ved, chapter number 32, verse number 3, for him there is no reflection. No reflection means there is no copy, there is no statue. If that up to that level a difference is present between the followers and the basic religion, then how can we take out the concept, the crystal clear concept of God from Hinduism? So Hinduism is out of context, and we are not supposed to follow Hinduism because there is a big difference between the followers and the basic concept, basic holy scriptures as far as God is concerned. So to clarify the concept of God, we would have to go somewhere else. Inshallah, we will meet again in the next video. Stay tuned and pray for me. Assalamu alaikum.